Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Flip the Script. I'm Kelly Perkins, and I am with the Farm AV, and we've decided to create this super funny, hopefully goes viral podcast with two of my favorite people. Let's welcome David Maldow.
Yay!
David!
Hey.
And we have Fang here as well with the farm.
Yeah.
Today we are we are joined by two of my favorite people, and we are going to be discussing a whole boatload of awesome farmy / techie / just hopefully somewhat funny, goofy things. So again, I'm going to introduce David. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I'll hand it off to Fang.
Hi, I'm David Maldo. I'm the founder of Let's Do Video. I've been covering the visual collaboration industry for so long. And I produce podcasts like this. I'm doing the tricks behind the scenes. Yeah. Speaking of which, can we bring Kelly down? Come down and
I'd
join
love
us?
to. Give me a minute. I got to climb down the ladder.
Whoa, how did you do that? Oh, where'd you go? Hey!
Hey.
That's awesome.
Oh, look.
Good
there's
to
a
see you.
goat in front of me.
We should name the
looks
goat.
happy. What should we name him?
Well, wait, first you introduced me and then I just took over. You need to...
Okay, yes.
Sorry. Rude, I'm rude.
Fang, and want to introduce yourself?
Well, my name's Fang. There's a whole story behind that name. I don't know if we should go into it. Should we go into it?
I think we should go into it. I mean, if people are going
Yeah.
to meet you now.
That's worth going into.
I
We
wanna
had to
hear
cuss
it.
on the show. I'll skip the cussing part. So I got hired on at the Farm AV. My name's George, by the way. That's the real name, not the cool biker name. And they already had a George on staff. So there's an old adage of effing new guy. So it turned into effing new George. So when you say FNG out loud, it sounds like Fang. And plus, I'm also a really tough looking guy, as you can tell by my overall appearance. And so the name Fang stuck. And I even have a t-shirt with the name Fang on it to just really
Nice.
cement it. John, my boss, made several email aliases with the name Fang in them. So now people are confused to who the heck the guy I am. So
So it's a real thing.
that's a very, all too real, I would say. Because I would try to get into a meeting and they're looking for a guy named Fang, and I'm just stepping in for him as just some schlep named George. So
You're George S.
yeah, exactly. George is like more than one of them.
And then we also have little stickers of Fang's head everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I think I either went on vacation or got sick or something, and I was out for like a week. And then a couple of coworkers that I work with in our office printed, I want to say something to the order of like 480 stickers of my face that they pulled different
Wow.
faces off of Instagram and Facebook and made different sheets and just started passing them out to people. And someone had a visitor come into the office and they took a couple of sheets, and now there's some of my face stickers over in the Bay Area, some over at the Starbucks across the street, some all over town. So
you're already famous.
in a very specific way, yeah. I'm probably not allowed to go to certain places, but
Who's this
There you
dude
go.
in this hat?
yeah, just some creepy dude with a bad beard and glasses, you know.
My diva brain, my first thought was, I need stickers.
They honestly aren't that. They got some pretty flattering pictures, but some not so flattering. It's like a 50-50 split.
They're awesome.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah.
I got Becca, one of our other coworkers, to send me like a ton of different spots where they are stuck. It's really funny.
There's like some on like my desk chair. I pulled out a video encoder from our warehouse, and sure enough, there's one with my face on it. And they're just all over the place. I can't get rid of them. But it was a cool deal though, where for every 80 that I found around the office, I got a free lunch. So that was
I was
cool.
gonna say you should make a scavenger
For
hunt
every
out of it.
80?
Yeah, that's how many there are. I've gotten 3 lunches, and
Oh, wow.
I'm still maybe halfway done according to the legend. So
Oh my God.
it's fun.
Well, since this is our first inaugural episode of Flip the Script, we're kind of feeling our way through this and coming up with an agenda. And one of those first items is because we are the farm AV, we thought we would come up with a, oh yeah, you're showing the rest of our herd. Wait, not herd. The rest of our
Stable
There it
stable?
is. Stable.
Okay. The rest
of
of our
animals.
stables. So we have to come up with names for all of these guys. And if anybody has any ideas for names, please send them in. We'll go through them and choose wisely. But before we do anything else, let's kickstart this, David, with a farmer's daughter joke.
Okay. I Googled some of these, and most of them I can't tell.
Are they
But
offensive?
this,
Shoot.
some of them are slightly offensive. This one's cute. So there was this farmer's daughter, and she was very, very attractive. And the boys in town were very, very interested in her. But the farmer had a reputation of being a very tough guy who was very protective of his daughter and didn't like having the boys in town, coming around the farm. So these three boys decided to sneak into the farm and try to talk to her. So they sneak into the farm, and all of a sudden they hear the farmer coming out saying, "Are there boys out there? If there are, I'm going to kill them." Rah, rah. So they run into the barn to hide. And they
This
see
barn?
that barn. Oh,
Okay.
this barn.
How did we sneak into this farmer's farm? Are we allowed to be here?
He's on vacation.
We're not supposed to. Are we the three boys? So they go into the barn, they're looking for somewhere to hide, and they see these three burlap sacks. So they each jump into a sack. And the farmer comes in and he sees the sacks and he's a little suspicious, and he kicks the first one and he hears woof, 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 woof. And he goes, "Oh, must be some dogs in there." And then he kicks the second one and he hears meow, meow. And he goes, "Oh, it must be the barn cats. They hide in there sometimes." And then he goes and he kicks the third bag and he hears potatoes. Sorry.
I love that.
And that's our show, folks.
See you next week. All right. Well, so this is I guess, I don't know if I want to say serious piece of it, but this is where we discuss topics in the news that we think are somewhat interesting, or at least piqued our interest. And the first one is ChatGPT, and David is our resident expert in this. And can you maybe just explain what it is and why it's so cool?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm an expert yet. I've just been playing around with it, but it's, I love all this AI stuff. And this has been the first thing that made me go like, whoa. You ask it questions, and we're used to asking computer questions. When I go to Google, I type in a question in human language, and it gives me links to the answers. When I talk to Siri on my phone, Siri set my time. Sorry. Oh my God, she's waking up. I wasn't really talking to you, Siri. Oh my God. She's like, for how long? No, I just wasn't.
Potatoes.
Okay, thank you, Siri. But we're used to talking to computers, but we know they're computers, and sometimes they can trick us for a few minutes. Sometimes we get those chats on the websites, and how can I help you? And it's like, wait a minute, is this a real person? No, that's a robot. But ChatGPT, it sounds like a person. And that's not just, oh, okay, so that's nice. So if I'm wanting to say, hey, give me a recipe for how to cook, chicken soup, it comes back like a human's talking to me, and that feels better. It means it could be creative. So instead of just saying, hey, what's a recipe for chicken soup? Or, hey, what's the history of the Library of Alexandria? You could say, write me a poem about farm life. And it writes a poem, and it sounds like, it looks like a poem that a human wrote.
Wow.
What's a human?
It's pronounced Yemen, first of all.
Yeah,
How dare you guys?
This is a huge development in. I can't believe that transferred from the old stream we used to do to this stream.
I can't believe it works with human too.
Human, it sounds like a person. So we've always thought that the idea of computers is, and AI in particular, is that it'll do the routine, boring stuff. It'll do the Excel spreadsheets, or the things we have to do 1,000 of, organizing, making the files line up in the things. But this is doing creative stuff. We have AI art now. So if the point of computers was to free us up to be creative, but now the computers are going to do the creative stuff, what's even going on here? And as a writer, I'm particularly scared because I'm used to using AI as a tool to help me do research for articles. I wrote a recent article, and I'm used to going to Google, and whatever the title of the article is, what are 3 tips for using video conferencing effectively? I go to Google and I write tips for video conferencing effectively, and I start my research there. I tried this with ChatGPT, and I said, write a 1,000-word article on whatever the topic was, and it was a decent article.
Whoa!
And I was like,
really?
Yeah. And I looked at it and I read it and I thought, okay, let's just put aside morality and stuff. Obviously I wouldn't just submit it, because if I did, the person that hired me to do it might find out, and I can get in big trouble. And even if I wasn't about getting in trouble, it's just immoral. But I wanted to see, if I had no morals, just as see how good it is, could I submit it?
So who's writing it?
And I think I could have. It has a brain. It's smart.
Yes.
It's a computer. It's the first real artificial intelligence. It's a computer.
Yeah.
And as it's writing out, it's really hard to say to yourself, a computer's writing this. I'm watching the article, just type, and I'm like, this looks like something I could write. Now, at the end of the day, I didn't use it, not just because I want to be ethical and moral, but because it really wasn't usable for me. It wasn't my tone. I thought at first, maybe I'll just rewrite some of it. Maybe I couldn't use any of it. But it was really helpful research to write my article, to see a similar article, basically. If I saw that article out in the wild, and here's the real thing. If I saw that article on another website, I wouldn't read it and say, oh, a computer generated this. I would think someone else wrote this. It has some mistakes. It's not perfect yet. It's not as good as, and not to have an ego, but I don't think it's as good as something that I wrote on a topic that I'm an expert at. But I wouldn't think that this was written by an idiot, and I wouldn't think it was written by a computer. And that's very new and very scary. We've never had anything like that before.
Do you think it's going to replace jobs?
Yes.
It's going to solve a lot of college papers. That's for sure.
They're already putting in schools are already putting stuff. Yeah, schools are already putting software in place to detect if something's written by ChatGPT or not.
Really?
I was gonna say, I wonder how far that could go. I wonder if you could do a ChatGPT paper, edit it for 10, 20 minutes instead of writing it for however many hours, and then seeing if that gets past the software. Oh man,
I bet you.
I had that.
That's awesome. So what does GPT stand for?
That's a good question.
Go purple turd?
Probably.
No.
Well, also think of customer service. We have these customer service. What if customer service, instead of those bots that are like, click one for this, click one for that, you could talk to them in human language saying, hey, I'm calling because I'm having this problem, and they could actually help you. And instead of being like, please go to our website for more information. We'll connect you with a customer service agent. It could be like, oh, this is how you solve your problem. Click here and click there and do that. Right?
We need that.
Well,
I mean, they've been working on that for a while, right? Where you'll have the automated phone message tree of just being on there, on like an insurance company's message tree for hours trying to get to a customer service agent, instead of like, no, let me try to help you. No, let me try to help you. Please let me try to help you. And you'll be there for 2 hours instead of getting the answer done. Yeah. So, I mean, if it gets better, why not? I don't mind.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Unless you're one of those, however many millions of people work in customer service now.
True. That's a good point. That's true.
Yeah, but nobody really wants that job anyways, do they? I mean,
well, yeah,
everyone's always mad at you.
I know, right?
God damn it, Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Poor Cheryl. She's just trying.
Just seems like a name that would be a customer service person, right? Like at Comcast or AT&T or something.
I mean,
or she would manage a customer service department.
Yes.
I think she'd be the manager.
Yeah, because that's probably outsourced to another country.
You'll have to talk to Cheryl. I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore. You're going to have to talk to Cheryl.
Or Cheryl doesn't exist. That's where we're going. There's just
Yes.
someone that someone needs to talk to that just never gets there.
Well, now Cheryl's going to be a computer.
Exactly.
I
And
like it.
you'd say, okay, that's fine. They do this job that no one likes, customer service, that frees us up to make art. Well, no, the computer's making the art now.
Right. Exactly.
So what are we doing?
Having a long lunch?
They can't do what we're doing right now.
They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. I mean, maybe they can.
No, they can't.
I challenge it to write
A potato
a
joke.
podcast. Yeah, exactly.
Actually, it can write jokes. It can write jokes. They're not great, but it can write jokes. I put in, just as a test, I said, write me 10 cheesy pickup lines. You remember those little cheesy pickup lines?
Yeah.
It gave them to me. And then at the bottom, it had a disclaimer saying, a lot of people don't like this and consider it rude, and you really should be careful if you're da 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 da. I was like, wow. Because I'm
Tell Fang what it did when you put in the farmer's daughter joke ideas.
No.
oh no, it wouldn't give them to me because they're it said that they're not appropriate.
They're offensive and inappropriate.
I had to ask them
Wow.
for the potato. It gave me the potato joke. I think it gave me the potato joke, and I had to ask for a farm related joke. No, actually, it
Okay.
didn't even give me the potato joke. I found that elsewhere. It wouldn't give me any kind of farmer daughter jokes.
I bet you could find that on Google.
But it gave me
AI, what a
pickup
prude.
lines. I'm tempted to open it up here.
And
Okay.
Cheryl has to be held.
Should we do a few?
Cheryl.
Should we do a few quick searches and see what comes up?
Yes.
What is the role of
Ooh.
an integrator in the AV industry?
There you go.
Yeah.
I like
Super
that.
exciting.
This might be too offensive of an answer. Well, let's see.
In the audiovisual industry, an integrator is a company or individual that specializes in the design, installation, and integration of audiovisual systems. These systems could include equipment such as projectors, speakers, microphones, video walls, and control systems. The role of an integrator is to work with clients to understand their needs, design a system that meets those needs, and then install and configure the equipment to create a seamless and effective audiovisual experience. This may include programming control systems, calibrating and tuning equipment, and providing training and support to ensure the system is used effectively. By the way, I am available for voiceover work. If anyone out there is looking for, someone to do in the audiovisual industry, I just saying, David Maldo.
Okay. Well, now that we know what an integrator is, but that's interesting because I've sat in so many meetings as an integrator and working for an integrator association. That, like, how many times we sat around a table and said, "What do we do? What is
That was a
an
really
integrator?"
good
Blah, blah,
answer,
blah.
wasn't it?
I mean,
That
it was
was.
like kind of a word salad, but it was also, it was very clear after.
But it was human and it was personable in English.
Okay. Well, that being said, should we move to our second area where we all hang out?
Yes.
It's time to take a trip to the pharmacy. It's
Oh,
been a
boy.
long day. We need some meds.
But instead of, well, we do have meds out on the shelves, I guess. But what we're more interested in is our AV products, because at FarmAssist, we assist you with your AV needs. I love that. I'm sorry. The FarmAssist thing is too good.
It's fantastic,
love
isn't
it.
it?
I love it.
I'm shocked we haven't gotten calls from like people who are trying to start a farm. And they're just looking for like consulting on how to start a farm. Maybe one day. But yeah, I
So,
think we got some new products here. What do we got?
why don't you, well, first off, Fang, why don't you explain to our viewers what FarmAssist is?
Oh, that's a good
and then
question.
we'll jump into all these gadgets that are on the shelves behind us.
We should ask ChatGPT. No, I'm just kidding.
We should.
Well, what we are is just wow, we're like an integrator for integrators is kind of how I describe it to a lot of people is we're contracted to help out integrators, not end users, but integrators in when it comes to programming, when it comes to even commissioning sometimes. When you basically need a set of mercenary hands and eyes to help out on a job site when it comes to an AV install. We've done everything, like we mostly program in QSys, that's kind of our bread and butter. But we've also been contracted to just be, like I said earlier, just sets of hands and feet to help out with the commissioning phase. Like whether it be testing out Google Meet rooms, Zoom rooms, whatever you need. We've done some programming, but mostly commissioning stuff for a lot of big projects like DoorDash. We've done stuff for big Bay Area firms like Genentech, things like that. And yeah, I think a lot of what we do though revolves around the creative programming side, which is a lot of fun. We have a cool, super smart team that have a lot of experience in that area, and so we tend to be a really good resource for a lot of integrators out there. So,
And they're really good at printing stickers too.
as it turns out, I did not know that was a talent that we had, but we got a sneaky talent for going on internet sleuthing and stealing 10 different faces and putting them into sticker form. So
Awesome. Yay, Farmisee.
yeah,
Really, these guys are awesome. They're part of our kind of like stealth division, like you said, mercenary, super smart, kind of Geek Squad, but cooler than Geek Squad and smarter than Geek Squad. We don't have the cool vans yet, but they're in Q4's planning. So
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the gadget?
Yeah, we could take a look at what we got here. I mean, I have some in front of me too.
The green screen
Look
might
at
put
that.
them out. Oh, okay, we're seeing it. That's nice.
That sneaks in there.
Yeah.
Right. There you go. What we have here is the engineered sound wireless from Audio-Technica. It's a really cool wireless system that Audio-Technica is going to be announcing at the end of this month, and is actually going to be shipping, from what I've been told, before Q2. So shipping really, really soon, especially when you think about everyone else who's having a lot more struggles than apparently Audio-Technica is. We got four different form factors. We have body packs, handhelds. We have one thing I just showed you, which is the gooseneck, but we also have the boundary style, if I could do that.
Pretty.
With cool LEDs that you could change the colors on. And if you don't want red and green,
Christmas.
right? You could do like cyan, magenta, crazy colors that no one would know what they mean. It's all digital, and it's all deck band, so it's going to be free from having to any wireless frequency audits or crunches that a bunch of wireless companies are buying up these days. And also, what's really cool is that it's all Dante, so it's all digital. You don't have to worry about a receiver box in your rack taking up audio channels. There's a bunch of cool features like roaming, so you can assign one transmitter, like a handheld, to 5 different receivers. Let's say if a gigantic space and it's all divisible, and then you open it up, then that presenter can go and be picked up by all 5 receivers instead of just one, and you don't have to worry about range or anything like that. So there's a whole lot to it. Definitely important in like the conferencing space. Super flexible, super powerful, super reliable, and really easy to use and set up. So we're big fans over here.
Woo!
Nice.
Rock
Yeah.
on.
Wireless audio until recently was such a compromise. I mean, there were there are a couple
for sure.
companies that were pretty good at it, but for the most part, if you're going to go, like, I want the convenience of wireless audio. Okay, you're not going to sound quite as good. Are you okay with that?
Exactly.
But it's getting, and the latencies, there used to be such bad latency, and now it's
Exactly.
like really good.
Yeah, and luckily, this isn't necessarily like in terms of latency the I wouldn't say it's the fastest, but in terms of the flexibility you get in that frequency band and the reliability of Dante audio and the channel count you can get is huge. You can have a bunch of transmitters to one receiver. You don't have to worry about running out of channels or anything like that. So it's super flexible, super awesome, and we're all really impressed with it. So we're excited for the launch so we can actually show people in person. That'll be really fun.
We got a sneak peek, okay, from Audio-Technica to show it in this podcast. So you guys are lucky to see it. Woo!
Don't tell anybody, except tell everybody. Please tell everybody.
Please tell everybody, but don't tell anybody. Don't tell ChatGPT.
It knows.
They
As I
know
say,
all.
as if it doesn't already know.
Right. Okay, well, cool. Thank you, Fang. Thank you,
Yeah.
David. Do we have anything else that we want to talk about in our first episode? Did we kind of hit everything that we meant to? Do you guys have any parting words of wisdom? I mean, I do.
Oh man, I was gonna say that's not my department. I only have silly, dumb things to say. So
I'm just having a lot of fun, and I hope we do a lot more of these because this is really great. And I want to thank FarmAV. I think it's very cool that they're supporting this. A lot of companies that I work with, they're like just so focused on bottom line ROI. Are we going to talk about the products this much and get the it's not, hey, why don't we just do a fun thing and see if we can build a community of people that want to hang out with us and sort of see what happens with it. And usually things wind up being boring because we're so afraid to take risks. We just want to can we just do a typical webinar like everyone else does? And y'all are like, let's do something fun and different. And I think it's awesome. So
Yeah, the farm does lots of cool stuff.
Yeah, those webinars are really good for if you want like a nice nap and some background music, some background sounds. Not super good if you want to like engage, you know?
Note.
All right, so are we ready for our final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
All right, let's go.
It's again back to not necessarily final thoughts of wisdom. However, I do have an interesting fact for you. Did you know that cats can actually be allergic to humans? You know, we're always worried about ourselves. We never actually worry about the cats, but cats can be allergic to humans. Actually, a lot of animals can be allergic to humans, you know, and it's a little bit more uncommon because we don't shed and lose our hair as much as cats and animals with a hair do. But yeah, it's a thing. Although side note too, it's usually because of our cologne and perfume. But there's a chance that your cat could be allergic to you, not you being allergic to your cat. So with that, I hope you have a fantastic afternoon, evening, morning, and see you next time.